Support for Just Seen It comes from Acorn, distributors of Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, a modern detective series set in 1920s Melbourne. Now on DVD and Blu-ray. More information is available at acornonline.com/PTV. On this episode of Just Seen It, we review The Internship, starring Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson.
Your interns?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Deal with it.
You're so old, though.
The story is so grounded, it did not cross my suspension of disbelief once.
The newest take on the Bard, Much Ado About Nothing.
Does that man suspect my ears?
As a filmmaker, I found it very inspiring that he managed to make a feature in 12 days.
We look ahead to the fall TV schedule.
It's an amazing opportunity to see the entire spectrum of what's coming out in the fall on the broadcast networks, all within 4 days.
And check out the magical thriller, Now You See Me.
The movie gives Mark Ruffalo a chance to really shine and show that he can be the lead in a big action summer movie.
All right here on Just Seen It. After losing their jobs, Nick and Billy get accepted into Google's intern program.
Nick, this might be the last chance that we got.
Don't come in here. You gotta come in closer. They won't be able to see us. See how small the webcam is? No, get cheek to cheek.
But the two quickly discover they are too old and technologically out of touch.
You know what launch this was from?
If only there was some webpage you could go to. Type things in and search for answers.
So they band together with a group of misfits to win the jobs of their dreams. In The Internship.
Hi, I'm Sean.
Hi, I'm Salim.
And I'm David, and we're here today to talk about The Internship.
Yes, which internship?
This internship.
The
Google
one. Okay.
internship movie starring Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. We've all just seen it. Who wants to start?
I'll tell you what the movie is about.
Alrighty.
Which is about these two guys played by Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson who are salespeople, but they lose their jobs because they're basically not relevant in the world anymore. And then they go and they do an internship at Google.
So I was not expecting to like this film at all. And it was a surprise. It was hilarious, and it didn't just coast by on these overly confident bro personalities that they have. In fact, they actually have to change, they have to arc, they have to become real people who could work at Google.
I loved the movie. It's a funny movie, it's a comedy. But what is surprising is that how really innocent the two characters of Nick and Billy that Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn play, how innocent they are. And they're really nice guys, and they want to just try to get their lives back after getting laid off from being watch salesmen.
Bland might be the word I would use to describe their characters.
I'm just gonna look at you.
You know,
Why bland?
Why bland?
I didn't think it was an unfunny movie necessarily, but we've got a movie about Google, about an internship at Google. Nice premise. I would like to see what it's like to have an internship at Google. I would like a movie to follow through on what an internship at Google is like. This movie throws that away, goes back to Hollywood cliches, Hollywood comedy, and gives us a very formulaic picture.
You don't think all the challenges that they went through during the summer were technologically based challenges that you would get at Google?
Definitely. I know exactly who can work at Google by doing a Quidditch match.
The second act is them learning to be a part of Google. They have to study. They have to learn all of these technological things, which they do.
They can't coast by on being the salesman that they've always been.
And that's all there.
They can't coast. And then the last challenge is them being salesmen. I mean, the script just collapses in on itself.
That's a setup and a payoff, though.
Right.
That's a classic
It's
setup
a
payoff.
boring setup and a payoff of a Hollywood cliche comedy. Also, a subplot involving a romance between Owen Wilson and Rose Byrne is a cliche Hollywood comedy. It's
true.
bland and boring.
But you can't get mad at comedy for having comedy tropes. Every comedy has these tropes. That's why they're there.
I'm not mad at it, but I can ask for something more interesting.
It's not just Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, it's their team. It's the characters that are with them.
They're all misfits. All the kids are misfits. It's clearly set up that they can't find a team to be on. So them as misfits take in the characters that Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson play of Billy and Nick, and they become a team of misfits. And that's a great story arc, is how they learn to work as a team together, because they don't like Billy and Nick. They got them figured out right from the get-go. You're like, you're older than my parents, and you have no idea how to turn on a computer.
Right, which is another Hollywood comedic cliche.
This reminds me of a little girl from a steel town who had the dream to dance. By believing in herself and trying, she literally had to become a maniac. She had to strip down to nothing. She had to sit in that chair and arch her back, and she pulled a chain to nowhere and doused herself with water.
Are you talking about Flashdance? The movie from the 80s?
Yeah, you're damn right I am.
Their comic timing was perfect. They were right on the nose. There was lots of really funny moments. I'm laughing out loud. They don't instantly become technically savvy, but they understand that in order for them to get these jobs, they can't be salesmen anymore. They can't be the slick willies and just sort of slide through and then get the job at the end.
Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson are fine. I've always liked them. I liked, actually more so, the supporting players in the movie, their teammates.
Right. And they also had some really great comedic scenes in this movie. It wasn't really just Billy and Nick's movie. They had their moments, they each had their character arcs, and they also had their bonding scenes with Nick and Billy.
The Josh Brenner romance with a stripper, that one had me a little baffled. A little baffled.
I will agree with you that the Rose Byrne romantic subplot that they had with Owen Wilson's character really didn't work for me. It was like they had to put it in, and when the two of them were together, as great as they are as their actors here, it's just that you felt like, okay, I want to get back to the other story. I want to get back to Google.
And Rose Byrne is this, it's another Hollywood thing where they just put this very attractive woman in glasses and act like she's kind of nerdy. I mean, if anything, I wanted to work at Google for the women.
I would like to call out the director, Sean Levy. I really believe that he has a great comic timing. He paces the movie. He moves the characters through.
Often his movies have a lot of big actors, such as Date Night or Real Steel, but they're not that funny.
Night at the Museum.
And Night at the Museum,
Right.
Exactly. And they make money, but they're not all that really well critically received.
So we've got another one here. Is basically what
No,
you're saying.
actually, this is a complete difference.
Let him finish.
It's not only about Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn being themselves, it's also about these characters, it's also about Google.
I thought Sean Levy showed it in a pretty pedestrian way. I found it mildly funny at times, but I didn't think overall it was a very funny movie. I'd seen too much of it before, done in different ways from other comedies.
The Internship was a surprise. A hilarious movie with great comedic performances from Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson, and a wonderful supporting cast. I give it a see it.
I was really not expecting to like The Internship, but it was funny, it was heartfelt, and it does not rely only on Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn for the laughs. See it.
The Internship is best left unpaid, or at the very least, wait for it at home. Stream it.
All right, our votes add up to 2.5 tickets, which is a see it for The Internship. Right,
Cheers.
So working at Google.
Why wasn't Monica Lewinsky in this movie?
In this contemporary update of Shakespeare's comedy, Claudio declares his love for Hero. But Benedict warns him of the hazards of romance while falling for Beatrice. In this battle of the sexes, true love emerges in Much Ado About Nothing.
Hi, I'm Liz.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Sean. Alas, we are here to talk about Joss Whedon's Much Ado About Nothing. What do we think? Is it Much Ado? Should we bid it Much Ado? Is it about nothing?
Have we just seen it?
We've all just seen it, though. What do we think?
So this is a modern retelling of Much Ado About Nothing, the Shakespeare play. It follows two pairs of lovers, Benedict and Beatrice, and Claudio and Hero, as they come to terms with whether or not they love each other. Meanwhile, there's a little bit of intrigue and mystery and some politicking going on in this city in Italy. And it's very straightforward. There's very little variance from the Shakespeare play itself. I enjoyed it a lot, actually.
I think in evaluating the film and deconstructing the script, you can't really criticize it because it's Shakespeare. Like, what are you going to say? Well, I really didn't like that plot point. It's like, well, it's tried and true and it's classic. So all I could say for the script is that Joss Whedon has great taste.
The fact that this is in Shakespearean English does make it a little difficult to understand. I think the first 15 or 20 minutes I was a little confused, then I got used to it, and it's a brave choice to do that. The last film that I can remember that spoke in Shakespearean English was Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
There are good things and there are bad things. I mean, the material itself, you're right, is charming, and it makes the movie entirely watchable.
They shot it in 12 days. They shot it at Joss Whedon's house, and it feels like that.
Right.
And So yeah, there isn't a lot of weight behind it, but I forgave it. I guess I'm just a big Joss Whedon fan.
If you're gonna criticize the film or, evaluate it, do you evaluate it as unto itself or knowing the context it comes from? So in evaluating him as a director, it's pretty difficult to give him a free pass, but the arrangement of the script and the dialogue and how it worked within the film was strong.
There's a lot of language in this play that doesn't really make it good for contemporary times.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. There's a lot of mentions of princes and
Italy
and
I know.
husbandry.
The clever thing was the governor idea. It's like the governor of Messina, and then it's like take it to an American context and make it a governor with Secret Service agents or security officers. I mean, that was clever. But if you're going to update Shakespeare, at least update the sexual politics of the story. I mean, if this is modern age and we have that major plot point about heroes
not being a virgin,
lack of chastity, and it's like her father comes to her and says, "I will kill you if this is
well,
true."
That's the play. I mean,
but if you're going to take it to modern times, you have to rationalize that plot point.
But the cast is great. At least we
Cast is
agree on
great.
that. Nathan Fillion is awesome. He plays Dogberry.
No, I was surprised he wasn't Benedict. I was expecting him to be Benedict.
Alexis Denisof was Benedict.
Right, and I don't know much about Alexis Denisof. I wasn't a huge fan of him in this film.
Wesley Wyndham-Pryce in Angel.
I thought he was really
Fantastic.
plastic.
The people that I really enjoyed the most were Nathan Fillion and Tom Lenk, who played the two comedic roles, the fools.
They were adorable.
Yeah, hilarious. They had the physical comedy. My favorite of all the serious people, though, was Fran Kranz, who played Claudio, because
he was good.
You could just feel his presence. It sounded, when he spoke, it sounded correct, whereas Amy Acker, Alexis Denisof played Benedict and Beatrice, they just didn't feel like they belonged in the movie. They weren't bad, they just sort of didn't come across as real.
I noticed people interpreting the material in different ways.
Yeah, that's
Fran Kranz and Clark Gregg and some of these people.
Sean Marr did a good job, too.
Sean Marr
Well, they committed to the Shakespearean concept.
Yeah, right, are basically doing a performance that's sort of the classical iambic pentameter, rhythmic Shakespearean performance.
Which I enjoyed.
Whereas Denisof and Nathan Fillion are doing
goofy Joss Whedon jokes.
Well, but they're basically saying, I'm in a modern-day adaptation of Shakespeare. I'm going to try and do my best to make the language sound modern.
Does thou not suspect my place? Does thou not suspect my years?
I imagine that we're gonna differ on our opinions about Joss Whedon as a director,
Yes.
but I will say, first off, that I think it's awesome that he shot this in 12 days, that it's in black and
He
white.
should be commended.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's incredible.
Do-it-yourself filmmaking.
Him and his wife is producing it, he wrote it, and directed it, and I mean, they staged everything in their house, and it's you could tell, but it works.
It was super transparent that all they had was this house because they shot from high angles of the ceiling through, windows and the stairs and every single aspect of the house, which is creative, but with the black and white cinematography and dancing trapeze women, it felt like it was trying to be arty. It was trying to be greater than it ended up.
Well, it was trying to be arty, and yes, we noticed those things, but that might not be a thing that the general audience necessarily notices. Oh, this was filmed in the same house, I mean, because we know that, it's in our consciousness when we're watching the movies.
And it's inspiring. It's inspiring as a filmmaker to go and see, a movie that was made in one location with very short production hours, and that's exciting. I just don't want to recommend this film to a whole lot of people because I don't think it's worthwhile.
Well, it's not for everybody, but it's worth recommending. This adaptation of Much Ado About Nothing is straightforward and fun, and if it's piqued your interest in any way, then it's see it.
Much Ado About Nothing is an interesting, sometimes entertaining experiment, but you don't have to rush off to the theater for this bit of Shakespeare. Stream it.
People who love Joss Whedon and love his Whedonverse will enjoy this film, but it doesn't get a free pass from me. Skip it.
Well, it looks like our votes add up to 1.5 tickets, which is a stream it for Much Ado About Nothing. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm okay with it, I guess.
You look happy.
Our DVD pick of the week is the 5th season of the AMC drama Breaking Bad.
I will kill your wife. I will kill your son. I will kill your infant daughter. Get me in a room with him, and I'll do the rest.
Admit you're in danger.
Who is it you think you see? I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger.
As we prepare for the 6th and final season of this highly acclaimed drama, now is a great time to catch up on the drug world of Walter White and Jesse Pinkman. Since we're talking about TV shows, ABC has just announced a new fall drama, Lucky 7. The TV show follows the lives of 7 blue-collar workers who have just won the lottery. So we suggest you first check out The Syndicate, now out on DVD, the original British series that Lucky 7 is based upon. So there you have it, 2 TV shows to give you a break from the big summer movies. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Salim.
Hi, I'm Hillary.
And I'm Aaron, and today we're here to talk with Hillary Atkin, a member of the BFCA who recently went to the Upfronts in New York. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right, well, I'm a longtime entertainment journalist. Television and film are my lifeblood, as well as digital media.
That sounds exciting. Well, give us a little bit more about what the Upfronts exactly are.
Well, they're actually for advertisers and brands to get excited about each network's programming so that they purchase what's called upfront advertising. And just to give you an idea of the market we're speaking about almost $10 billion per year. That's B, $10 billion per year. So each network puts on what would be considered an extravaganza type show at Broadway theaters, at Carnegie Hall, at Lincoln Center, and they really pull out all the stops. It's literally like a show, and they play clips from the new programs, they bring out talent.
So I guess the first network we can discuss is Fox. So what does Fox have rolling out this season?
Next year, they will have 24 Live Another Day.
Sweet.
It's back?
It's back.
Is Kiefer back?
Kiefer's back.
Nice.
Is it 24 episodes?
No, it's only 12.
So it's going to be called 12 now.
Right. It's going to be called half of 24. Cool. What was left to be explained was whether each episode will be 2 hours or if it will be half a day. But you know what? It doesn't matter to me because I was such a huge fan overall of the series that I'm so excited to see it come back, and it was just everyone was thrilled to hear about it.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So do they have any more event type series coming out?
Cosmos, which is a remake of the old Carl Sagan science show.
Right.
And this one is going to look so much fun. They showed a clip, but it's produced by Seth MacFarlane, who is a big science geek. And it stars Neil deGrasse Tyson, an astrophysicist who is very telegenic. And they showed him in a time machine going back and forth across the universe. And it might sound corny just when I say that, but it looked really, really enthralling.
So this is a Seth MacFarlane show that's live action.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's talk about NBC next. What are they rolling out?
Michael J. Fox is coming back to series television on NBC with the creatively named Michael J. Fox Show. You gotta love that.
I'm thinking about going back to work.
Oh, thank you. Jesus.
I was thinking about it. Good to know where I stand.
We're just kind of happy that you're getting out of the house.
In this drama, he has Parkinson's and he has a family, and they're kind of tired of him hanging around the house. So the storyline that I saw has him going back to work as a network news anchor.
It just completely mirrors his life, it sounds like.
Is it a comedy or is it more drama or kind of a mix of the two?
We'll have to see.
Okay,
Again,
all right.
I'm hesitant to really judge things by just the brief amount that was shown to us. And it was kind of more about the excitement of Michael himself coming back.
So next we'll talk about CBS and a show that I'm really excited for, starring Robin Williams, The Crazy Ones. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Robin, we've seen him doing all of his specials and in movies. Robin hasn't been on TV since what?
Mork and Mindy.
Yep. So this is such a big deal that he's coming back to broadcast television on CBS, and he came out on stage at Carnegie Hall and did, of course, a really funny bit that got everyone really excited about the show. He plays an advertising man who, seems to have a great deal of creative genius, not a big stretch there for Robin, but of course being a comedy with some crazy situations lined up. So it just is going to be so high profile because, again, Robin.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
Robin. So very, very exciting. And also, his co-star is Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Buffy's back!
Yes!
Wow,
I'm excited.
Interesting. Tell us a little bit about what CW has on tap for this coming season.
It's kind of been dependent on the Vampire Diaries to carry the network. That's been very successful. So one of the shows they unveiled was a spin-off of the Vampire Diaries called The Originals that has some of the same characters, and it's set in New Orleans. And it looked very dramatic, very sexy, and of course, New Orleans itself is such a great place to shoot, and just so rich in culture and history, and I really think it's gonna work.
So I hear there's some interesting stuff about Robert Rodriguez that was revealed at the Upfronts. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
One of the things that was really exciting during the Spanish language network Upfronts was the announcement by Univision of a new cable network called the El Rey Network, which is going to be run by the esteemed director Robert Rodriguez. And one of the first shows that was announced was going to be based upon his infamous film From Dusk Until Dawn that he did with Quentin Tarantino. It was, really one of those buzzworthy things that people were very, very excited about because it was so different.
So I guess there's one network left to discuss a little bit, ABC. They do have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming out.
I did hear a lot of buzz about that show, and people are really, really excited about it.
It's definitely something I'm looking forward to. I'm a big Joss Whedon fan, and I appreciate all the stuff he's been doing with Marvel. Avengers was great.
Strategic Homeland Intervention, Enforcement, and Logistics Division.
And what does that mean to you?
I mean, someone really wanted our initials to spell out S.H.I.E.L.D.
It was fun to share my experience with you, and we'll all be tuning in the fall.
Yeah, I guess so. Cheers.
Right. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Four magicians are brought together to form an act in Vegas.
Some of you lost your homes, your cars, and so tonight,
we're gonna return some of that money back to you.
But they appear to rob a bank without ever leaving the stage.
Thank you, everyone. We are the Four Horsemen. Good night.
So an FBI agent must prove their guilt and stop their next trick in Now You See Me.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Salim. We're here to talk about the new movie, Now You See Me. We've all just seen it. Aaron, why don't you take it away?
Now You See Me, thankfully, is one of the few original ideas coming out this summer. It's not an adaptation, it's not a remake, it's not a reboot, so it has that going for it.
The film was written by Remember the Titans director Boaz Yakin, along with Edward Reichort and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure writer Ed Solomon, based on a story by Yakin and Reichort. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a throwback to kind of classic heist movies, Thomas Crown Affair, The Italian Job. I liked it. I thought it really kind of kept the audience guessing for a while.
I really enjoyed the mystery of this movie because it was not only about pulling the wool over the characters in the movie's eyes, but also over the audience's eyes. And it's great because you're just guessing up until the end of the film. However, there are instances in this movie that take me out of the film.
Yeah, some of the twists are great, but some of the twists are a little illogical. Like the main twist at the end, I feel like when you look back on it, obviously we can't go into it because it's a big spoiler, but if you look at it at the beginning of the movie and you try and piece it all together and make sense of it, it just seems like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, or it's a twist that was created to shock the audience.
You know, the twist worked for me. I probably guessed it about 5 minutes before it actually happened, but it kept me guessing the whole film, that kept me in the game, so it worked for me. I was okay with it.
On the side of your helmet, you should feel a button. Now that button activates an air duct that connects Paris to Las Vegas.
All right, now empty it, hold on tight.
Maybe the payoff was a little less thrilling than I expected it to be. And a real problem with it, and maybe it has something to do with why the twist let me down, was the character development of all the characters just isn't really there. I don't really feel like I know about any of these magicians. I don't feel like I know about the FBI agent.
It's funny because the film is being sold as the Zombieland reunion between Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson, but it's really Mark Ruffalo's movie. I mean, he's really the lead of this film, which is really nice to see after, playing a supporting role in The Avengers and other films. I really think Ruffalo got the chance to be the lead summer action guy.
Because it's so much about these magicians, we're supposed to believe this world that they're in. And for some reason, they're able to do these tricks that require CGI that a regular magician would never be able to do.
That's movie magic, buddy. Come on.
That's a problem with for me too, though.
Yeah, I let that go. I was okay with that.
That's the kind of stuff that takes me out of it. I mean, the big elaborate set pieces are fine because they do explain them, but it's the little things, like, for example, Isla Fisher does this magic trick with a piece of cloth and it's flying around and it's clearly CGI and it's just not possible even in this world that they're creating for the movie.
And magic movies like The Illusionist or The Prestige, that's the question of the movie. Is it real magic or is it fake magic? Whereas this movie, you're supposed to just assume it's just magic, and these people may be sorcerers that are able to jump off a building and turn into cash, which is fine, but still it kind of takes you out of it because you're like, no, people can't really do this.
I was enough interested in the characters and invested in the story and the action that was going on that I kind of let all that go.
When you're ready to go to Paris, just say the magic word.
You gotta be kidding me.
That'll suffice.
Since we're talking about cast now, I think Mark Ruffalo is probably my least favorite person in the cast. Because
he's what made it work for me.
The reason why I didn't like him is because he just felt so disingenuous to me as this FBI agent. And it always felt like there was something else going on with him, but not in a good way. You know what I mean? Like, he just didn't seem focused, and he was
I totally disagree. He carried the movie on his back for me. Like, he's the best thing about the movie.
I can maintain my resolve much longer than you can maintain that phony arrogance. And the instant that you even show the slightest crack in that smug facade, I'll be there. I will be all over you like
white on rice? Sorry, that's unfair.
So the four horsemen in this film are played by Isla Fisher, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, and Dave Franco.
Woody Harrelson plays a mentalist, so it's really fun to see him just joke around and bring a lot of the comedy to this. Whereas Dave Franco, I thought he was good in this.
I thought Franco had a great chance to where we've seen him in a couple of movies lately, 21 Jump Street and Warm Bodies, and he really had a chance, I thought, to shine a little bit more in this film. And what a fantastic action sequence he had with Mark Ruffalo. There's
really cool.
a magic fight scene between Franco and Ruffalo in the movie, which I thought was one of the best action sequences I've seen this summer.
Well, let's talk about the director a little bit. Louis Leterrier, done movies like Clash of the Titans, The Incredible Hulk, the first two Transporter movies. Yep. So he's able to make visually striking movies with some great action sequences.
I mean, it's got flair, it's got style. I appreciate it.
It's got flair, it's got style. I thought he did a good job of carrying the story along. Again, I was invested in the characters. The magic sequences were cool, and I mean, that action sequence with Ruffalo and Franco was amazing.
While I do appreciate the creativity of this story, the script problems are just a little too big for me to ignore, so I say watch it at home. Stream it.
It may not be the most anticipated movie of the summer season, but I think it'll completely entertain its audience. I say see it.
The sleight of hand is enough to keep you to the end of this film, but the cheats with the magic takes you out. I say stream it.
Looks like our votes add up to 2 full tickets, which is a stream it for Now You See Me. Fair enough. Cheers.
Cheers. On our next episode, we take a break from the big summer movies and review the documentary 20 Feet from Stardom. Then get right back into the big summer movies with the sci-fi thriller After Earth and the action drama The Purge, and round things off with a look at our favorite sci-fi classics. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.
I think that would have been a really boring movie.
It's like, hold it, let me go ahead and code now while you all watch this.
Support for Just Seen It comes from Acorn, distributors of Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, a modern detective series set in 1920s Melbourne. Now on DVD and Blu-ray. More information is available at acornonline.com/PTV.